hot outside, good to be on the inside with an air condition on and everything. And obviously, one of the biggest and most amazing dreams of uh, building a 1 crore rupees corpus. Given the kind of trajectory inflation is heading, I think 1 crore will not be a very big amount for the future generation, but still, for us, it's a dream and we should aspire to achieve it. But today we are not going to talk about those people with big incomes, 1 lakh rupees per month coming in every month, and they are with SIPs of 10,000, 15,000 rupees in a one single fund. Today we are going to talk about the beginners who are starting with a nominal salary of 30,000, 40,000 rupees a month, and uh, they have they do not have a lot of money, but they do have one thing uh, in their hands, which is not which is very precious and not very easy to, basically almost impossible to retrieve once you lose it. So let's start. So basically, first we established let's try to establish the value of one crore rupees in today's scenario, in today's economy. It's not it is not as much as it used to be, but still 1 crore rupees is a good amount which can put you in a very comfortable position economically, financially, and in your life. So what it can do for you, you can buy a 50 lakh rupees house, and with another 50 lakh you can build an income stream for yourself on a safe uh, ROI of 7%, 6%, and you can take care of your basic necessities. Once you are secure and safe about your basic necessities, you know the food will be on your table. You are pretty much confident about your job, your profession. You have the freedom to move around a little bit, experiment a little bit with different things, and find your calling. So there is a lot you can do with if you have a large sum of money at your back, looking after your requirements, your needs. It can gives you, basically Red Bull gives you wings or not. This will definitely give you wings. So how do you get to this 1 crore corpus from a very small salary? See, at the moment, if you are getting 30,000, 50,000, less than 50,000 per month, this, and you are less than below 30 years of age, you still have a lot of time to make your income grow. The only thing is, the only factor that will help you do that is if you can focus on your job. So if you have attended any of the life coaches, or if you have heard any of the lot of saints are also there nowadays on social media. If you scroll through and you figure out, you come to listen to one of these guys, they will always say, focus on whatever you want to grow, focus on that. So if you want to grow in your career, you need to focus on that. So what will happen to your money? So if you are not focusing on your investments, how will they grow? See, with the investments, it's exactly the opposite. The more you focus on your investments, the higher the chances are that you will budge with your against your plan. You will do something that will spoil your plan, that is not in you what you have planned, and you will end up either withdrawing, switching, or doing some activity. But with most of the investments, consistency, and there are certain other factors which are very important for these investments to uh, make your money grow, and one of those factors is time. So you need not focus on, you need to automate your investments. You need not focus on those investments for a very long time. So how do you remove the focus from investments? Is you automate them. You need to select your investments scientifically. You engage a financial professional, financial advisor like me. Again, let me introduce myself. And my name is Narayan. I am founder of Standard Money, and I am a AMFI Registered Mutual Fund Distributor and a graduate from IIM Lucknow. So, what you do with the money, with your savings and with your investments is you choose them carefully and then you let them grow. You give them time to grow. Obviously, you're not leaving them just like that for 20, 30 years. You will be monitoring every year or regularly on a regular intervals so that you know how they are doing, if they are not doing good, or if you need to switch suddenly if there is any update related to that investment. So there are a lot of factors you can take care of, but one of the factors that you should not worry about is how whether I need to do something with my investments next month or every month or every 2 months, 3 months. And when you can do that is when you have chosen that investment with careful thought and there is a underlying logic behind it. Most of the time that logic is your goal. So in this case, we have a goal of achieving or building a corpus of 1 crore rupees. So let's see how your 30,000 rupees per month salary is going about the business throughout the month. So the assumption is that about 60 to 70% of the salary goes into rent payments and lifestyle and household expenses. And with the remaining, you need to also pay for insurance or something, insurance, and then you try to save some. So the recommendation here is you try to save at least 15 to 20% of your salary. Why 15 to 20% is because 10% you need to allocate directly to retirement without any thoughts. This is a subject of another discussion. Perhaps in next couple of workshops, we'll discuss how the retirement is planned and funded throughout the life so that you have a comfortable retirement. But right now, just a second. But right now, we need to make sure that whatever we earn is contributing to the retirement. And one of the reasons which will always, anytime we talk about any investments, this factor will always be the most critical, one of the most critical factors, and I'll show you exactly how it is the most critical factor. And maybe you're thinking that something else is there, but once we get there, you will see. So right now, so the recommendation is you save 10% of your saving goes towards your retirement automatically, and the remaining 10% is what we are talking about that will help you build this 1 crore corpus. So this 1 crore is not your retirement fund. This 1 crore rupees is your freedom fund. Retirement, you can keep on building. You might change your career altogether. You might start a business going forward in next 10 to 15 years. Retirement will always be there, but your path to retirement will change drastically if you have that freedom fund with you. So assuming that you are somehow able to save 3,000 rupees per month in an SI and you towards this goal, so how do we do that? See, the biggest goals can be achieved if you give them consistent investments, if you give them time, if you can step up your SIPs with your income. So you are earning 30,000 right now, it will continue, it may, if you work, if you are doing good, if you are working on your career, if you are focusing on your career, your income will increase, and that's how your SIPs will also increase. So every time your income grows by, you get an increment of 20-30%, make sure that increment transforms into the salary, into the SIP also. So it doesn't only remain with the salary. If you want your wealth to grow, if you want your career progression to make an impact on your life, you need to make sure that as your income is growing, your savings are also growing. That way it will have an impact on your wealth, and 5 years, 10 years down the line, when you look back and see that you have a big bank balance behind you, which is a result of your career, your hard work in the profession, you will be more satisfied regardless of your position at that point of time. And I have seen a lot of examples like this. People have been struggling in their career, but the moment they go back and see what their SIPs have done for them, they are pretty much relaxed. They know whatever comes, they will face it. It's rare to have that kind of confidence, and I'm sure everybody wants that kind of confidence. At one point of time, I also wanted that kind of confidence to just say no to what I don't want to do and start doing what I want to do, really want to do. It takes about 20 to, it can take about 20 to 25 years, it can take more also, depending on your risk profile and certain other factors. Let's see what those factors are. So what does it take to build rupees 1 crore corpus? See, with 3000 per month SIP, which you are growing at 10% every year, you are basically, first year you invest 3000 per month, second year you invest 3300 per month, and so on and so forth. So as your income is growing, you are increasing your SIPs. So if you get an ROI of 8% per annum, it will take about 28 years for you to reach 1 crore. And if you get 12% per year, you will take 24 years. You will need 24 years. If you get 15% per year, you will need only 22 years to reach 1 crore. So again, these are just hard estimates. Why hard estimates is because you will not, in some years you will have 8%, some years you will have 12%, some years you may also have more than 20% ROI with mutual funds, with equity funds. So what happens is you choose the funds according to your risk profile, and the more equity fund you will have in your portfolio, the more volatile the portfolio will be, like the more your ROI will change every year or will be different. The goal is to maximize your ROI within your risk profile for the time you are investing. So since we are investing for more than 20 years here, at least more than 10 years, so we can be very aggressive with the equity. If we are very aggressive with the equity funds, you can have anywhere from sometimes even like this year, if you look at last 12 months, the equity market return has been minus 4%. Some mutual funds have given minus 1.5% returns for the year registered. Some have given even less than that. Small cap funds have shown like 5-6% negative returns for the year, but it's not going to be the same for the next year. So with equity, you have this benefit. Also, this is also a kind of uncomfortable position for a lot of people. So this is where we try to limit our equity exposure according to the risk profile, according to the risk that we can handle. So in the first case, where you are getting only 8% per annum for the next 20 years, 25 years, whatever the investment period is, you are staying invested for 28 years. So now you can understand, if you are 25 years old and you need to stay invested for 28 years, this is going to be post-retirement. This is going to be very close to retirement, not post-retirement. It's just 28 years. It's going to be about 53 years or 52 years of age when you can achieve this. You will still have 8 years to go for your retirement. And 50 to 60 is a pretty good age to become an entrepreneur. If you are employed at that point of time, if you did not become an entrepreneur before that. So you will have 1 crore corpus along with your retirement corpus. Again, we are not touching the retirement corpus ever at all. Before retirement, we are not doing anything with it. We are just letting it be, because that's where we need maximum security. Even if this 1 crore corpus is little less, you will not regret it that much if you have a good retirement corpus with you at the back. If your retirement is secure, you are safe. If your retirement fund is less, then the money you are accumulating here, part of it will go to your retirement also. So that way also this freedom fund is very, very important. The second scenario is 12. What if you get 12% per annum? If you get 12% per annum, your time shifts to from 28 years to 24 years only. And if you get 15%, lucky you will get 22 years. And if you look at last 18-20 years of equity market data, ROI, you will see that market is giving you 15 to 18% per annum CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate of this much, or about 18% per year. So that means you can safely say that you can get up to this return at least in a couple of years, 50% of the time. Even if you don't get this, don't get the 18% or 15%, you will get somewhere, depending on your distribution to debt and equity over a period of 20 years. This is not a promise of returns, but this is kind of expectation. When you are taking that much risk, you want this kind of return. So if you are investing in equity, you can expect your equity portfolio to grow at a higher rate, or you stay invested for a long time. Now, what is going to drive? So it's okay to start an SIP and allocate a lot of funds, a major chunk of it to equity, because you're investing for a 20-year period. But what exactly is driving your success? We'll start this, we'll set up the step up also in one go. Can we just forget about the investment after that? SIP will automatically keep on going into the funds and money will keep on growing. Actually, there are certain factors. So we need to, as I said earlier, if you want to grow your career, you can focus on that. But if you focus too much on your investment, you might make certain decisions which you will regret later. So you need to understand what factors are going to drive your future value. The 1 crore, how quickly you can get 1 crore depends on how much you are investing, that is P in the formula, and ROI and time. So these are the three factors majorly. So time is the longer you stay invested, the more your corpus will be, the bigger the future value will be. The higher amount you invest. If you are investing 10,000 instead of 3,000, your corpus will be 2-3 crores. If your ROI is higher, if you are getting 15% instead of 8%, you will reach your goal much faster, or your corpus will be much bigger at that point of time. So what you need to have a hold on these three factors. And which of these three factors you can control? So let's see. You fully control when you start the SIP, when you start investment, you fully control when you withdraw. You don't control how much you invest. And I'll tell you why, because you don't control your income. You want to earn 50,000-60,000 rupees right now, but you are earning 30,000. That's not in your control. It's a outcome of your efforts and a lot of other factors. Maybe the economics, maybe the industry also. So income is not in your control fully, but the part of income you want to invest into this goal is in your hands to some extent, to the extent of your income, to the extent of your expenses and lifestyle and responsibilities. What you do not control is the ROI. Although it says you can partially control ROI, but no, nobody can control ROI unless you are only going for fixed deposits. Also, every year fixed deposit rates also keep on changing, so that is also not in your control. You can only control it for a certain period of time, not for the entire duration of the goal. So ROI is not in your control. How much you can invest is not in your control. The only thing that is in your control is time. So that's why time becomes very, very precious with investments. And you need to, every investor, although it's uh, high time people, government includes this financial education in the curriculum of in the schools and everything, so that children have a hang of how money works in the real world. And once you figure that out, and a lot of people have already figured this out, they all they need to do is just put the money in the investment and just wait. That's it. All the effort goes into selecting the investment. You can do it yourself in today's AI world. You can use the AI tools to find the investments. Someday in one of the workshops, we'll have this session also, how to find right funds and right investments with using AI tools, free AI tools, obviously. And this, the next thing is you just, or you can hire a professional to do it for you, and just ask them the right questions to understand where the money is going, why it is going there, and when are we going to review that, and how do we check the performance of it? When do we say that it's not performing well? When do we say it's performing well or it's meeting our expectations? So once you are clear with these factors, you can go ahead with the suggested investments. So these are the questions which will help you understand when something is not doing well. You can switch, or you should stay. You don't need to do anything, or there is a new opportunity in the market. So you abandon the old wagon and jump onto the new one. Since time is the of essence, it becomes very, very important to start as soon as possible. So there is a proverb that says the best time to start was yesterday, the second best time is now. So which is very, very applicable in almost all areas of life where you want to grow, including career. And this proverb is basically for planting a tree. If you want to taste mangoes of your own tree, you need to plant it 20 years ago. So if you are planting it now, you will get the fruits a couple of years from now. So second best time to start is now. And since you need to give maximum time to your investment to grow and to achieve, to get you to your destination, you need to give it maximum time. And that maximum time comes only when you start as soon as possible. The drawback of starting late is very, very high on the amount of investment that you need to make to achieve the same goal. So for example, this 1 crore rupee goal, if you are starting at 25, you can achieve very well within 3,000 rupees. But if you start at 30, you will need 6,000 rupees, about 6,000 rupees. It's almost doubles just in 5 years. And if you are starting at 35, it will be 10,000 or more. So if you are below 30, this is the best time to start your 1 crore journey. And how will you choose your investments? So couple of factors, your risk profile. First of all, try to understand whether you have covered all your risks, whether you can start this investment and not have to withdraw in between. That you can do with a comprehensive financial planning or comprehensive goal planning, or you can have a risk profiler. You can discuss with your mutual fund advisor or investment advisor to give you your investment risk profile. Accordingly, you choose the asset allocation. Your asset mix decides the highest and the lowest ROI you can have. So the more fixed income instruments you have, the lower your range will be. Your lower ROI will be higher, your higher ROI will be lower. Obviously, there will be gap between them, a positive gap, and it will not be much compared to somebody who is investing purely in equity. It will be very less. But if you go for equity, you will have a higher gap between the higher return ROI value and the lower ROI value. Lower ROI could be negative also sometimes. Fund quality and cost. So there are a lot of ways, we have already covered this, a lot of ways to judge mutual fund performance if you are investing in mutual fund. If you are investing small amounts, mutual funds are the best route to go because they are professionally managed, and a lot of factors which you will face investing individually and investing in individual stocks or in even individual securities will be taken care by the mutual fund manager and the AIMs. So you don't need to worry about that. You can focus on your job, you can focus on increasing your income, and instead of worrying about where your investments are. So role of advisor is kind of critical here. You can also use a lot of free tools that are available on the internet or online, or with your bankers also nowadays provide a lot of tools to for investment advice. You can try, and wherever you feel comfortable working and feel confident about knowing things that you need to that or that you feel curious about before investing, go for it. So to summarize everything that we have discussed so far, 1 crore rupees is possible even if you are earning just 30,000 rupees a month. All you need to do is make sure you have a step up SIP. Step up SIP is where you increase your SIP every year with your income. Start early, as soon as possible. You need to start. If you want to start, if you have not started yet, you need to start now because you will be looking, you will need to spend some time looking for right investments, right portfolio mix. Even you might have to go with the full comprehensive financial planning. That is, at least once in your life you need to have that comprehensive planning done, especially if you are married, and that's the best time to have it. Second best time is once you have a child. After that, it's kind of review exercise. You are pretty much set in stone after that. And get your risk profile, whether from your financial advisor or whether from online tools. Get your risk capability and risk assessment done, so that you are confident about your equity or high risk investment and your low risk investment. Always remember, the lower the risk, the lower the ROI. The higher the risk, the higher the ROI. But with higher risk, you need to reduce risk, and time is the most useful factor to overcome that high risk investment, the chances of loss in a high risk investment. Thank you. These are my contact credentials. If you have any questions or if you want to just post some topic, please drop a message or an email. Thank you very much. Have a good night.